Toodaloo, doo doo doodaloo. Doo doo doodaloo, doo doo doodaloo, doo doo doodaloo, 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 doo 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 doo. Hey everybody! Welcome to another edition of the SHIB Worldwide 50/50 raffle. We're gonna get things kicking. Just give me a second to log in here. Yeah, we hit 1455, and we have slid back down because of uncertainty for the tariffs that were happening in European from the U.S. So, massive love show to Jason Cox, of course. Massive love show to everybody coming in. Yesterday we got trolled. Yay! First time ever. But it happens. Massive love shout out to Babe's channel. Massive love shout out to Jason, of course. Massive love shout out to Prince Williams, our trustee. Massive love shout out to everybody. And we're going to check out the website. Now, the new website, I still critiquing it, guys. It's I had a couple glitches earlier on. I had to work them out. Yeah, but everything's good now. So much better. It's so much better. So much easier when you have a raffle that you're trying to keep track of. And people who are coming in and who blatantly refuse to see the facts. Now, I can't help those people. And I don't know who can. Jason, if you got any ideas of how we can manage those people? Because we can't ban them. Because they're part of the World Economic Forum. So, yes, remember, hit the like button, subscribe, and come into the channel. Now, we're doing the 64 members from Canada, 11 visitors from United States, 3 visitors from Singapore, 3 visitors from South America. Massive love shout out to Mike Remy. SHIB's going to Mars. Rumo. Hi. We're trying to get SHIB to go to Mars. I don't know who wants to hurt a dog that badly, but yeah. Shiba Inu is a very interesting concept that a lot of people need to focus on. But have you done any dollar cost averaging? You do any DCAing in? You should have been doing DCAing in when it hit 7, right? 507, 508. But I know I have friends that are at work and they bought at the highs. And right now, one guy says I put $200 into it and now it's worth about $50. Yeah. Well, Mike, everybody, Ruben, is it Ruben or Rubina? Rubina? Do I speak Albania? No. I have friends that speak Albania. Does that count? But I don't speak Albania. We speak Russian. Anyone here speak Albania? Anyone in the room speak Albania? Mike, let's see if we can get you monetized. Not monetized, moderator. Get you out as a moderator. There you go, Mike. Yesterday I did a boo-boo. I had SAQ and I put him on as a manager. Big mistake there. He took over the whole room and canceled everybody else out. That's awesome, eh? Yeah, he flashed us all out, which was really good on my behalf. That was my mistake. Sorry, guys, for yesterday. But we did learn a lot. Not saying that we didn't learn a lot. You didn't keep your Deutsch? That's okay, Mike. SHIB's going to make it up. But everybody, this. You have to understand what SHIB means, right? So SHIB's constantly adding value. The value is overlooked. right? The value of SHIB is overlooked. The utility for SHIB is overlooked by a lot of people. Even the influencers refuse to say that SHIB is no longer a meme. It lost its meme status from Vladimir Buterin. It had massive utility. That's like saying that I know that it's below 1 penny. Like realistically, it's, you know, we're dealing with, like, if it was on the Nasdaq or on an exchange right now, it would be on the pink sheets because it's so low. Even though the valuations are high, it would be under a penny. It'd be considered a pink sheet, and it's extreme risk, right? That's what they would say to you. But anyone who's in crypto, period. If you're in crypto, the first thing you do is when you read your monologue or you read your statement from the banking institution or the exchange that you're dealing with, the first thing they say to you, how much risk can you obtain? Because if you can't obtain 100% risk, don't be in crypto. So right there, they're telling you that investing in cryptocurrency, doesn't matter what cryptocurrency, it's high risk and your money is considered lost. That's why it's not legal tender anywhere, except for Bitcoin. Bitcoin's the only one that's got legal tender, and it's only in El Salvador. And now other places are looking at it, but they haven't specified which places host Bitcoin as legal tender. Yeah, Bitcoin. Bitcoin's doing very well. We don't suggest buying Bitcoin. We suggest mining it. If you want to get into Bitcoin, start mining it. And don't mine it yourselves. It's too expensive. Go to a G2 and buy the generators, right? You rent them is basically how it works. So you rent them and then they give you money back on your exchange. So you purchase it, and then when you want to sell it, you can sell it. But it generates revenue for you. So someone bought it, and then they realized after they bought it that they're not going to get their money back out of it. So now they're going to start renting them out. That's how it works. So they rent out the ones that are for everyday people who can afford it, $35, $37. Those are gone. So if you go to G2 app, those are gone. So now you're dealing with the ones that are $75 to $140. And then there's other ones for $500. Now those ones pay better, but the amount of money on return is lower. Makes sense? So yeah, you get more, but it costs you more. So it takes longer to pay it off. Right. Now we're getting away from SHIB, which we shouldn't do, right? Everybody wants to know more about SHIB today. Well, besides being down on the markets because of uncertainty that's in the markets, and of course with cryptocurrency, that's astrabated. It's just gone through the roof, right? It's that we get massive pullbacks. Bitcoin dropped $3,000 today, 3,000 USDT, because of the uncertainty. So you can see the difference between the stock market and crypto. But you notice something about gold? It went up 33.9. How come Bitcoin didn't go up? Bitcoin should do the exact same. It should be doing it better than gold, because gold is, we're fighting more and more gold every single day. Bitcoin has a fixed amount, and it should be based on the exact same principles. Because what's going to happen if the US doesn't make a deal or doesn't keep its promise? Inflation's going to go up. Inflation goes up. Bitcoin's deflationary, so it's hyper deflationary. Like SHIB is hyper deflationary. But SHIB, in lots of ways, is way better than Bitcoin. One is price action. The other one is volume. And, well, the biggest one's price. Everybody loves the price. It's, you can buy 1 million SHIB for nothing, like $15 to $16. Right now, you can buy it for 1 million for $14.75. Because SHIB's price is right now $14.3226. Yeah, so $14.50 buys you 1 million SHIB. What does that do for you? Well, if you bought it at a high, and you can now buy it for $15.50. So it's in your best interest to DCA in. Now, how often do you do that? Well, how often do you buy lottery tickets? That's how you got to treat SHIB. Don't treat it like anything else, because everybody wants to make money in the world. There's 5.3 billion of you out there who want to make money, and it's guaranteed money as long as SHIB's doing what? Reducing its circulating supply. So as long as SHIB's constantly reducing its circulating supply, you're going to make money. Now, what can we say on how that's possible? That's going to continue to reduce the circulating supply, because everybody wants to make money. All the exchanges, not personally. I wouldn't want you to burn SHIB personally. Companies and organizations, people that want to really make money, have an influential part of the SHIB Foundation, they're the ones going to have to buy majority of the stakes so that they make the most money. It's just common sense, right? If I want to trade, I want to trade off on my money that I'm making. I want to make sure that I own majority of it. Because if I can't own majority of it, then I'm going to have to buy the ones that do have majority of it. Because it's cheaper to buy them out than to try and chase the rabbit down the rabbit hole. Because what's going to find out is right now it's only 8.4 billion, but how many of them want to sell it? None of them. They're all trying to do the exact same thing you're trying to do, dominance, trying to get that dominance in there. That's why the bidding war is inevitable. Because not all of them, thank God, none of them have power over SHIB. Right? They're working on it. They're constantly working on it. Binance is working on it. Crypto.com is working on it. And Robinhood and BlackRock are constantly working on it to try and get that dominance, because they understand now why that dominance is so important. Because once they start reducing it, it's going to drive even more demand. And they don't want to use their currency. They want to go after someone else's, right? So they want to go after who's ever holding SHIB that's in competition with them. So they want to go after Binance. They want to go after. So if it's Robinhood, they're going to go after Binance and Crypto.com and OKX and Gate.io and all the ones that hold massive amounts of SHIB. They're going to be targeting them. They're not going to target the rest of them, because all of them are trying to fight for marketing share. Everybody wants a piece of the pie. Mark Anthony, massive love shout out to Mark Anthony. Oh, your work used to be a Bitcoin mining place. Interesting. Interesting. How did that go? Did they use solar panels? Did they use windmills? Because majority of, that's what Elon Musk was bringing up. I don't know if you guys remember a few years ago, about 3 years ago, 2 years ago. He used to come on YouTube and pronounce to Arkansans, Catherine Wood. Remember Catherine Wood? Yeah, she's a CEO of where is it? Arc. Ooh, it's on the tip of my tongue. Ark Invest. There we go. Ark Invest. Thank you so much for pointing that out. Ark Invest. Yeah, Mark Anthony. Hope everyone's doing well and doing good. Yes, Mark Anthony. I hope everyone's doing good too. You guys want to bring anything up today? Was there any news? I didn't see anything that was out of the ordinary. I know that the SHIB magazine always posts something about, and I laugh every time I read anything about the new and latest, what is it? Exploitation of the profit or the prophecy of where SHIB's going to be 2030, 2050. I laugh really hard, because if the raffle got going and we started selling tickets in the raffle, we told everybody that listen, we need 2,000, 3,000, 5,000, 6,000 people a day watching the channel. We get 80% of the proceeds from the channel going to the reduction of SHIB circulating supply. Plus, we have the massive drivers that are buying massive amounts of SHIB, and it's starting to snowball out of control. where we're selling lots and lots of tickets per day and we're doing massive burns every single day, what are the outcomes of that? Well, that would depend on how many people are buying tickets on a daily basis. And because it's on a daily basis, it's almost impossible to give a forecast of how much we're going to sell tomorrow or the next day. Is it going to continue to grow, or is it going to have pullbacks? Because the world needs to catch up to it. The world needs to explore that avenue. And as that happens, that's when we start to see the kickbacks. And that's when we start to see the growth. And I would think that all the exchanges in the entire world, not just crypto exchanges, but every exchange would be advertising us on a massive scale. Only reason why that is because now they want a piece of the pie. And they know that what by us burning it is increasing their amount of volume on their exchanges. So then everybody starts to take part in it. And then once that happens, the organizations start to take part in it. And like we said before, that's the snowball. That's the adoption that we're all looking for. The McDonald's, the Wendy's, the Fords, the Lamborghinis, Ferraris, Porsches, BMWs, Volkswagen, right? Lexa. Well, Lexa is owned by Toyota. So Toyota, WestJet, Air Canada, even though WestJet's private, they still want to make money. Reducing the circulating supply is key to that money. So, and they're not going to say, okay, we're just going to do it for the SHIB. No. They're going to do it straight across the board on everything, not just people going in and buying tickets using SHIB, on every single transaction. And don't kid yourself. This is massive, guys. Everybody wants to make money. Everybody wants to make money. No matter who you are, no matter where you are in the world, everybody wants to make money. So it's in their best interest to start reducing the circulating supply because it's adding to their bottom line. And they get to show that to investors. Listen, we have a SHIB investment. We invested $500 million in SHIB. This is our investment strategy, and this is our growth revenue projection for this year based on the fact that SHIB is growing at this rate of return. So it's not 20%, not 30%, it's 80 to 120% rate of return every single year. When people see that on their return on capital, the stock shoots through the roof. They know it, everybody knows it. It's just putting it together. It's just putting it together. So once that happens, it's inevitable. It's like broadcasted out that every single organization on the planet is going to start reducing SHIB circulating supply, even though people are not using their SHIB to do it. So if you're buying McDonald's with your SHIB, they're burning more. Absolutely. But they're going to start reducing it even with fiat currency because it's in their best interest. Imagine how many McDonald's houses they'd be able to build if they do that. A lot. How many more McDonald's franchises are not going to cost you, $1 million to $2 million to get those anymore? It's going to be a lot of them because now they want you to have more of them. So because it's going to have increased their revenue stream. That's what they're looking at. That's exactly what they want. And that's exactly how they're going to build it out. Same thing with Netflix, and same thing with Alibaba and Amazon and Microsoft and Adobe. I mean, then they won't be able to they won't charge you anything because now they're making money reducing SHIB circulating supply on advertising. So all these things are going to start snowballing out of control with the adoption, because nobody out there, every single company or organization wants to make money, and you're guaranteed to make it because you've seen it. It's happened twice. No one took advantage of it. And it's happened right now, and no one's taking advantage of it either. So you're on a ticking time bomb. SHIB is going to explode, but we have no idea when. It's rumbling, it's tumbling, but no one knows when or what's going to cause it to explode. But something is. So the bidding war, I would think that it's first and foremost. The bidding war is absolutely paramount because of the 18,000 cryptocurrencies that are out there. All of them are going to want a piece of the pie. Does that mean that the shareholders, the ones that are invested in those cryptocurrencies, are going to come back into SHIB? Unfortunately, what happens is they already sold their SHIB to buy other coins that were going up. Now they're not going to, they have a hard time mentally saying that, okay, SHIB, if it explodes, are we going to pile into it? They probably won't. They'll think that it's going to be another pump and dump. So SHIB's going to go up and then come back down. But the truth of the matter is that volume behind SHIB is the reason why people buy into it in the first place, because they're waiting for the reductions to happen. Now, if those reductions don't happen, we're going to have a sell-off. But what's I think is going to happen is they want to keep the momentum going. Every single exchange, every single pattern, because it's going to increase volume. Volume means more money in their pocket. They don't want to wait another 4 years for another event. They're going to want to take advantage of it right away. With SHIB, they can do that because SHIB doesn't have a 4-year cycle. SHIB is constantly reducing circulating supply. We reduced 694 trillion SHIB. No, sorry. 694 billion SHIB was eradicated in 3.5 years. But because we did it slowly over time, it didn't catch on. We burned 56 billion in 3 months. SHIB explodes. We burned 410 SHIB right away. SHIB waited 4 months and then we had an explosion. Similar, same thing with the 56 billion. We had an explosion. 694 billion, nothing. But we reduced that supply. Yes, we did. Did we get anything out of it? Well, the people weren't paying attention that were buying it and selling it. If we did, we wouldn't be able to buy it and sell it at this price. So you have to thank every single one of them for helping you out buy more. And you're on a bomb. You don't know when it's going to go off, but you know it's going to go off. It's going to launch like a mother. And when it does, it's going to be fun to watch. And it's going to be exciting for a lot of people. All those that bought at the bottom are going to be ecstatic because they'll be looking at getting out. And all those that got in the middle will be looking at it going, I wish I could have bought it at 5 zeros. Everybody says the same thing. It's going down. I'll wait for it to bottom out. Well, you don't know when that bottom is. No, no one does. It's getting to the point where it's crusting on where it started from. Oh, it might be a good idea to start accumulating. Oh, it took off and went up to 401. Okay, so obviously the range is 68, 69. If it ever gets 5069, if it ever gets back there, that's the crust of when SHIB started. Starting. And we've lost 41% of its total supply. So that tells you what the bottom should be, right? That tells you where that bottom or that crust is, where it started, where SHIB started from. It went down from there. Trust me. We all know it went down from there. It dropped to 9 zeros. Everybody knows that. But then there was a big, massive burn. 410 trillion SHIB were sent to the dead-end wallets. 41% of the total supply of SHIB was gone, eradicated forever. And then we had the sell-off because of India was given 50 trillion, and we're not sure, but someone bought it for like next to nothing because it was right around that 9 zeros, which is awesome. They were selling it at that price, trying to alleviate the people in, of course, India. And I'm not sure if they sold all of it or not, but it seems kind of funny to me that we haven't had a massive rally since. We've had this influx where it went down because we had 90 trillion SHIB that was sitting in limbo, that was being used for tax purposes by Vladimir Putin to write it off, but it was going into companies, an AI company, the COVID relief fund in India, the second wave, if everybody remembers. And it seems like I'm getting into a repetitive pattern. Notice that? It's like a repetitive pattern because we talk about the same thing almost day in and day out. I don't know if I like that. How many people watch the our SHIB Worldwide 50/50 raffle? Go to the website. Anybody? Nobody? I'm going to look up the statistics now. Yeah, so we had 5 visitors yesterday. 5 visitors yesterday. And the visitors aren't out today, so I have no idea. But we had 5 visitors, 8 page reviews yesterday. If you want SHIB to go through the roof, it's all about self-promotion. So we are a community token. We need everybody to do their part and support all those influencers out there that are trying to make a difference in towards SHIB by liking, subscribe, and commenting and sharing, because sharing is caring. And as long as we're sharing that information, that should get out to the rest of the public to help them become aware of what's going on. We want to make sure that everybody has a chance to get into SHIB at the lowest possible price ever. Even though that our price is probably higher, we still want people to recognize what is available for every single person on the planet. And I don't speak Chinese. Is that Chinese? Or Mandarin? It looks like Chinese. It doesn't look like Korean. Maybe it's Korean. Yeah, so if you want to go to the website, it's SHIB5050raffle.com. Make sure you hit the like button, guys. Make sure you hit the subscribe. And we want to talk about whatever you want to talk about. Mark Anthony, do you have any concerns? I know that we have massive concerns. I heard Mark Carney just signed a waiver for $500 billion towards Ukraine to rebuild Ukraine. Can you believe that? 500 billion. There's 43 million people in Canada, and he signs a waiver for 500 billion. Who voted this guy in? Seriously, who voted this? He's worse than Trudeau. He spent what Trudeau spent in unbelievable. Why would anyone want to and I don't even want to talk about politics. I just want to talk about SHIB, because SHIB is very positive, very lucrative, and very understanding, right? When it comes to making money, it's based on facts, right? Everything's based on facts with SHIB. If you don't know already, we do hold because self-evident is making sure that everybody is aware of the facts. Facts is, and a lot of people will sit there. Wait, what about the Shibarium team? What about the SHIB ecosystem development team? Okay, so I'm going to ask you. Everybody, I know Jason Cox knows. I know Anthony, Mark Anthony, you know this. SHIB was invented in 2020, August. The only other person that got awarded anything was Vladimir Buterin. He was awarded 500 trillion SHIB. Half the supply was awarded to him. He took the supply, 410 trillion, sent it to the burn wallet that he created, and he threw away the keys to that burn wallet, the 3 of them. It's just 3 wallets now. He threw away the keys to those wallets, and he burned 410 trillion through the wallets. That was in May 2021. June, July, August, September. August of 2021, Shiba Inu, SHIB.io was created by Satoshi Custodian. A year later, 1 year later, he develops the team. He creates out of the team Bone Leash right away. And then he had Shiba Swap, so that you could turn your SHIB over to another coin. And that's what the Shiba Swap was all about. And they came up and made a website on Shiba.io. Then SHIB takes off after that. In August. Same August, 1 year later. So Ryoshi never mentions the development team. Never says a word to them. They developed this on SHIB's platform. Zero governance. Anybody can do it. But they take all the credit. So if anyone else tries to do anything on the SHIB network or SHIB, anyone coming up with SHIB at all, First thing they say is it's a hoax. The truth of the matter is they hijacked the name for their benefit, but they didn't realize. Well, here's the best part about Ryoshi. 2022 happens. All of a sudden, Ryoshi leaves the team, leaves everything. All his accounts are closed. His X account or his Twitter account closed. His Facebook account is closed. So everything that he touched, that he helped make this, his sacrifice, he closes all of it. He walks away. Miracle 3, right? The first miracle was him building SHIB and then throwing the keys away. That's a sacrifice. A massive sacrifice. Because you think about it, how many organizations out there, how many cryptos are out there? 18,813. Most of them are going to mint as many coins as they want. They want that protection. They want that ability to even do a reverse. If they put out too many of them, they'll do a reverse coin swap or or a token. Buy back the token. No, that's not buyback. It's what it is it's a reverse split on the token, which hurts the investor, which hurts the people that are in it. Ryoshi walks away in 2022. When did he walk away? It was in March. I believe 1st of March that all of his accounts were deleted. So he walks away from SHIB completely. And the ecosystem development team continue with their broadcast. And now they got SHIB Magazine, SHIB.io, Shitoshis, Shiboshis, Treat, Leash, Bone, SHIB Eternity, their game. The metaverse, remember the metaverse? It's going to be this great thing. They're selling land titles. Everything's going to be in SHIB to sell those land titles. What did they do? No, sorry, Treat. Bone was created. What was Bone created for? Anyone know? Bone was created for? Voting rights. That's right. Voting rights on SHIB. You believe that? So they only put out, I think it was 10 million Bone. Or no, 250 million Bone. So when they invented Shibarium, because Shibarium was, remember, it was supposed to be in SHIB. SHIB was supposed to be the gas fees, and those half of the gas fees was supposed to be going toward the burn of Shiba Inu. So there's supposed to be a burn mechanism put in there for Shibarium. So all those exchanges, but then they hard forked it. When you hard fork something, you're taking 4 times. So if they're charging, let's go with $1. $1. 4 times, everything's a quarter. So they hard forked it. Everything's now a quarter for the transaction fees. Oh, it's too expensive still? Okay, what we're going to do, because remember, their volume has dropped off because now nobody in SHIB is supporting them because the gig is up. You did not do what you promised. This is the 3rd time that you've done this to us, and you never kept your promise. So they hard forked it. Okay, no problem. So that drove down to 25 cents. Now they hard forked it again. Oh, now it's 12 cents, 12.5 cents per every transaction, right? No, it's 25 divided by 4, 6.25 cents per. Like, you guys can't make this stuff up. Where's the burn going to come from? Now that it's hard forked now 3 times. Like, we're not going to make any money here. And now it's under 2.5 cents per transaction. Like 2.5 cents per transaction. And they just announced they did over 1 billion transactions. Well, if it's at 2.5 cents per transaction, how much SHIB are you burning? Because SHIB was supposed to have a button. Remember the button? Every time it got to $15,000 USDT, somebody hit the button, it burned SHIB. And then we figured out that it's going to take hundreds of years before they burn any SHIB with it. Again, you don't fulfill your promises. How do you expect the team, the SHIB partnership or the community in SHIB to support you. And then when they did do a massive reduction in SHIB circulating supply, because they did, the 56 billion, that actually happened. And it took 3 months. Same thing with Vladimir Buterin when he burned the 410 trillion. The mindset, oh, there's less supply. That means it's got more value. Amazing. Isn't that awesome? That it takes someone that long to figure it out, 4 months before we start seeing a massive run. And then we see a run 6-7 times your money. Woo! But no burns after that. Not one, right? We have burns, yes, but they're steady eddies. They're constantly reducing SHIB circulating supply, yes, but 12 million, 14 million, 16 million, 1 billion, because last year Binance announced that every quarter they're going to start burning 1 billion SHIB every quarter, no matter what the price is. So that's awesome. They get to write that off, by the way. So it costs them nothing to do it. Costs them nothing. And they get to write that off between different countries. That's the best part. So they're making money burning SHIB. Isn't that awesome? How come they're doing more of it? That's a good question. 1 billion? A lot of people are thinking, well, that's a lot. But that's only every quarter. That's every 3 months. So we have 4 billion burned every year. We did 694 billion, and we still haven't seen the results of that 694 billion burn. And I'm still waiting for that big ignition system to go, hey, wait a second, we should be on fire. We should be on fire. We should never be at these valuations, because anything that's always adding value to you, the holders, the wall holders, is paying you to stay in it. All-time high for 2025. Okay, so we do not do predictions. Why don't we do predictions? Are fun. They're a lot of fun, and it gets everybody excited. But the reality is we should be at all-time highs already. We should be surpassed them already. In fact, we should be sitting at around a $400 billion market cap right now. We're nowhere near it. We should be sitting between a $400 billion to $800 billion market cap right now. But we're nowhere near that because of manipulation going on. We have a little bit of a tug of war between a few little exchanges, and that's it. But once all of them start figuring it out, HTX is one of them. The Kraken, Jason, is starting its run. But the amount that it's doing is very, very small. So as much fun as predictions are, we love predictions. They're very fun. They're very entertaining. But that's exactly what they are. They're just fun and entertaining. Massive love shout to Rowena. Massive love shout to Babe's channel. Massive love to Rowena. 17U6. Is it 17U6 or T7U6? T7U6. Yeah, massive love shout out to you too. SHIB market cap all-time high in 2025. If we can get the raffle going, I tell you right now, if we got the raffle going and we sold, let's say 1 million per day, 1 million tickets per day, you're looking at about 76 billion SHIB being burned every single day. 76 billion SHIB just on 1 million tickets being sold. Now that works out to about 20,000 people, 20 to 30,000 people buying tickets per day throughout the entire world, which is phenomenal. But 76 billion. Now imagine 76 billion being burned every single day and then not increasing, just 76 billion. How long before we get down to a trillion, before we have a trillion burned, right? Roughly around 11 days before we burn 1 trillion, 12 days before we get into the 1 point something trillion. And that's if no one bought any more tickets. But you know, and I know that's not going to happen. What's going to happen is the phenomenon is going to start kicking in. And that's what we've been saying. We would like to get around 3 trillion SHIB being reduced every single day. 1.329 is the target to massively make a huge statement in the crypto space, because once people see that, they understand what that means, and they go, well, that's not really obtainable for every single day. Well, when you think about it, yeah, okay. How many people is that? It's 90,000 people buying tickets. 90,000 people buying tickets. It's not even 100,000 people buying tickets. It's 90,000 people buying tickets per day throughout the entire world. 5.3 billion people on the planet, and none of them have, a couple bucks hanging around to buy a couple tickets. Of course they do. Of course they do. Especially if they have, 5 million to 10 million SHIB in their wallets, and they're got a separate wallet just for the raffle. So they only put a couple bucks in there every week or every 2 weeks, and they use that money. So you figure it out. Okay, maybe we have 700,000, 800,000 people that are buying and selling tickets. And of course, when the like everything else, when it goes up, everybody wants to take part in it. Oh, there's 8 winners this week. Next week, or we had 8 winners today. Tomorrow we have 12 winners. Next day we have 15 winners. Next day we only have 6 winners. Next day we have 30 winners. Like, you start doing the math on it, and then you're like, wait a second, this is getting serious. We're reducing massive amounts of SHIB, and it's happening every single day. So what the volume's going to go straight up. All the exchanges are going to start noticing it. They're going to start bidding more instantly, like instantly. Within 2 weeks, we have a bidding war going on with SHIB, and everybody's going to have a hell of a time trying to get in at that time, because you're going to be paying all-time highs every single day. It's going to have a new all-time high. It's going to snowball. When the people start selling it, because, a lot of people, if they got 500,000 or 500 million SHIB in their wallet, they're probably going to start depending on where they are in the world, of course, are going to start selling it, because that's a lot of money to them. In their country, that's a lot of money. They'll still take part in the raffle, but they won't do unless they're got nothing better to do. Then they're going to put the money back into the raffle every single day. Oh, I won 500 million SHIB. Now I can buy the raffle, and I'll take my chances. Maybe I'll win again. But you're winning every single day the raffle's on, because we're reducing the circulating supply every single day. That's keeping everybody on their toes, right? You won't have to wait 3 months, right? No, you'll still have to wait 3 months, believe it or not. Even if we burn trillion, listen, 400 trillion was burned. 400 trillion. And still, the mental anxiety, people weren't buying, they were selling. 400 trillion, yeah, 400 trillion SHIB. Turfed, gone forever. And people still selling it. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So yeah, if we do 1 trillion SHIB a day, if we start it with, if went up to 1 trillion SHIB a day, it'd still take 3 months before people realize it. Hey, wait a second. We might want to start getting into SHIB. Maybe. And then we would see a pop. But because we're constantly reducing it, it's never going to have that ability to come down like it does after the aftermath. It's going to continue to climb, because we're now, that's a 3-month period, that's a 3-month period, that's a 3-month period from the last time we burned. So it's going to have that consistency. People are going to see that consistency coming through, take part in it more and more often. All the raffle does is speed things up drastically. It's going to happen whether the raffle goes through or not. That everybody that's in SHIB is going to be phenomenally rich and wealthy. That's the bottom line. You're going to be wealthy. Now, how long is it going to take to get there? That's a good point. Thanks, Babes Channel, for sharing. Awesome. We want to see more of that, where people say that I'm in SHIB. If you're down on it, you tell us you're down on it. We're going to say the same thing to you. Wouldn't it be in your best interest to start DCAing in, dollar cost averaging in? We don't recommend that you go all in. Never go all in, because we don't know. The predictions, the fun part of the predictions are, we have no idea when it's going to happen. We know it's going to happen, but we don't know when it's going to happen. the volume, the value of SHIB is constant. The price is not. Eventually, the price is going to catch up to the value. Value is here, price is here, right? So if you look at it and go, the price is here, the value is here, and we should be, it should be the opposite, right? Every other stock that's out there, it's the opposite. The value is here, the price is here. The price can come down to the value, but usually it doesn't go below the value. And if it does, it's only for a sharp point and then back up again. But not in SHIB's case. No. And it's because people don't understand that, they don't understand the concept that it's always adding value. And it beats out every other cryptocurrency on the market because of that. Because there's no limit to how much can be reduced. And once every single organization starts to burn it, billions of companies, not billions of companies, but billions of people, how many of them own a company that could benefit from something that's reducing its circulating supply, increasing its value? All of them. Every single one of them can benefit from it. So how long before they figure it out? I don't know. Can you tell me when they're going to figure it out? Because if you can tell me when they're going to figure it out, then you can come out and say, hey, next week we're going 100x. Next week after that, we're going another 100x. Next week after that, we're going to see some massive burns in the billions. So we're going to reduce SHIB circulating supply by $5 or $6 billion. That's going to have a drastic effect on the marketplaces. It's going to create an insane valuation for SHIB, and SHIB would still be undervalued at that time because now the valuations are going to be for that 1 cent, 2 cent, 3 cent valuation. And as soon as it hits close to the 1 cent mark, there is going to be a massive sell-off, a massive driving force downward, because everybody has that 1 cent factor. Ooh, I'm going to be super rich at 1 cent. It won't get there. Their out is way before it gets to the 1 cent mark. So you're going to see this massive influx where everybody's trying to bail. And if the people aren't there to support it and start accumulating it, it's going to go down. And then when the burns come, and then the exchanges are stealing it from them that are selling it, because they understand what that value means. The people, all they see are the dollar signs in their own fiat currency. But me and Jason talked about this. Though that fiat currency that everybody's so powerful over is actually worthless, because they owe more than what they make. Just like with the Canadian dollar, the guy's spending more money than we make, and we're losing jobs, and we're losing GDP. We have the lowest of the G20 countries. We're the lowest. And it still doesn't faze them to spend that kind of money. Like, you either are mad or you have no idea what's going on. I love lemons. Massive love shout out to I Love Lemons. Thanks for coming in. Really appreciate everybody that comes in and has a great time, right? That's what we're all about. Prosperity. Everybody coming in and sharing their concepts and their remarks. Yeah, so predictions are hilarious. I love predictions. I don't like talking about them because this is so ridiculous. Like in 2030, SHIB's going to be at this price. Really? How can you possibly say that? You know how many different variables there are for SHIB? I came up with them on my website. There's 12 listed, including ours with the SHIB 50/50 raffle. The SHIB 50/50 raffle, by the way, is probably the fastest. Because we would have everybody sitting at around $5 to $6 per SHIB in around 1.5 to 2 years. No word of a lie. But how much is left in supply? You're going to love this one. Less than 200 billion SHIB left in supply. Less than 200 billion. So you figure it out, that would be what? $400 billion market cap for SHIB? If it's sitting at around, well, if it's sitting at 6 and we're sitting at 200 billion, 300 billion, yeah, $180 billion market cap. No, sorry. Geez, where's your math? Out the window. Yeah, so we would be looking at, would be in that $600 to $800 billion range. Almost $1 trillion market cap. But we would be right in there. Right in there. And that's only because we would have probably 20 to 40 million people looking at us daily. Now, how much money would that be on YouTube and TikTok and them? And then the amount of deductions that that channel is doing for everybody on the planet. Again, same idea, right? 80% of everything we make on the YouTube channel goes towards the reduction in SHIB circulating supply. This is not financial advice. Anything under a penny, no analyst will cover it. And because SHIB has got zero governance, except for the SHIB, I don't even want to say it, the ecosystem development team, they say analysts are covering the professional analysts. Are you kidding me? These analysts, there's nobody going to cover SHIB at 4 zeros, 1 5. None of them. No one's going to cover Pepe, except for the people that are own Pepe would force them to gain market share. So they're advertising it. You got it. But they have a team to do that. Now, if they go and spend the money unwisely and they have to do something with Pepe, mint more, reverse split. Reverse split's awesome, right? You lose half the amount. So let's say you were sitting pretty, you had $500,000. They do a 10-to-1 reverse split. That's awesome, right? So they go from, right now they're at 14 or 13.76. They're going to go 3 zeros, 1736. So that's awesome, right? They jumped up, but you lost 10. So you're sitting at 500. Now you're sitting at 50. Yeah, you're sitting at 50. It's the same price, but they have less supply. Yay! Right. And then if they do another one where they do 100-to-1 or 1,000-to-1, now it gets them at that 1 cent level or close to the 1 cent level, but you only have, you had 500 million. Now you had 50 million. Now you have 5 million. You understand where this is going? Now you're at 1.5 million. And, but we're almost at a cent. But it's selling off now because people understand what's going on and they just lost their shirt without even thinking it. That's what reverse split means. And it doesn't do anyone any good. It hurts you. And when, especially if it sells off and goes back to 4 zeros. And it's like, well, there's no market cap anymore. Well, yeah, because there's less supply. So now they start minting more because now it's back to where it was before. So guess what happens to it? It devalues. It goes down even further. So, yeah, you see where that piece comes in, that governance? That's huge. So zero governance, just like Bitcoin, zero governance. But when SHIB has got on top of it is constantly adding value. Bitcoin isn't. Bitcoin's still mining Bitcoin. SHIB isn't mining anything. SHIB is giving it back. Now, the ecosystem development team came up with a pattern or a way for you to make money. But the amount that you can make money on is limited because they're mining SHIB to give you a 0.005% if people are coming into it. But if people are leaving, they lose money. That's why if you go into different exchanges, you can't mine, you can't mint, you can't mine SHIB. You have to go on the ecosystem, you have to go on Shibarium. You want to take advantage of that. And you have to go on certain exchanges that allow it. Because only certain exchanges will provide for that based on the ecosystem development team package on each of the exchanges. So it's limited. So it's not for everybody, and you're not going to get a lot of money out of it because it's only 0.05%. So 0.05, 0.05%, 50, that's half a cent. No, it's 5 cents. But when you're talking about SHIB trading at 4 zeros, you're talking like minuscule amounts of money being given back to you. Now, do anyone remember the burn portals? Anyone? The burn portals from... because remember they created the burn portal, which was funny because the burn addresses were created in 2021. SHIB came out with theirs in July 2022. 1 year later, year and a half later, or year and 2 months later, I guess it'd be 14 months, right? 14 months later, the ecosystem development team come up with a burn portal. Now, that burn portal, what did they say about the burn portal? They were giving certain amount of shiboshis to every single person that reduced SHIB circulating supply. Once people started catching on to it, and it was phenomenal, because what was happening was we were actually getting burns in the billions, right? We're getting burns close to billions in SHIB per every week or every other week because of this burn portal. They stopped it. They couldn't afford to pay them anymore, is what it was. In Satoshis, they didn't have enough Satoshis to pay them. We're going to invent a new coin. It's going to be called Treat. And you guys are going to get a treat for burning SHIB through the burn portal. What did they do with Treat? It's on its own. It's working with bone and leash. It has nothing to do with the burn portal at all. Not a thing does it have to do with the burn portal. Again, another lie that's given to the entire SHIB community that's supposed to be helping the SHIB community. And in fact, it's like, yeah, that's exactly what they did with this shit. That, hey, this is what we had planned for you, but I'm sorry, it's not going to work for us. Just like the metaverse. Where'd the metaverse go? Metaverse was supposed to do all these things. Everything is supposed to be reduction in SHIB. It's not going to happen. It's going to be bone and leash. Everything is in bone and leash and Ethereum. You want to buy lands? They're selling lands at extraordinary high valuations. And they didn't have a map of the area that you're buying. So instead of buying a condo and seeing the condo or seeing the lakeside or seeing the oceanfront property that you're buying, no. Trust us. It's a city that you're buying into. We're going to have it built for you. But first, we have to sell you the land titles to get the city up and running. The truth of the matter is, it's an ecosystem development. Metaverse. Everybody has lakefront property. You walk outside the window, there's a lake there. There's a river there. There's an ocean there. Whatever it is that they want. It doesn't have to be what they want it to be. It's whatever that you want it to be. And it can be massive cathedral over the ocean. And then everybody has a platform and a house and a place and a station. And then they have the Jetson cars taking them everywhere. You could have done anything that you wanted to. It was that simple, that easy, that you could have done anything you wanted to, put it in the futuristic kind of atmosphere for everybody, and you would have beachfront property. You'd be right over the ocean. And when the ocean rose, your vessel would rise, just to keep up with the illusion that you're there. No one understands this concept. It's all on a platform that's innovative. Anything is possible, and everything is possible because it's all part of what? Someone else's imagination? Absolutely. But it's not like a world you've ever seen before. It's unlike anything you've ever seen before. It's a platform or a flat map. And that's exactly what they're selling you, is a flat map of something that has buildings, that has storefronts. Go to a coffee shop, spend your time with the coffee shop, spend your time with the people there. That's metaverse. And people got away from it because it was going to cost too much money to make it, and they didn't have the resources. They even went to, and I haven't heard a thing about it since, right? So the metaverse I think it just got scrapped. It's just going to, and the people put a lot of money into it. I think they made $26 million off of the land sales, but they hired the third floor to help create what was going on. And then they came out and they gave a little bit of a teaser saying that this is what they developed. It was crap. It's a Japanese village high up in the Himalayas. Are you kidding me? That's the best you could do. Small bridges, small mines. Where are the houses? Where are the organizations? Where's this massive? You've sold all these lands, and you didn't build around those lands. You basically went on a tangent and did something else, and it started off as a big teaser. That's the ecosystem development team's best drama ever. And then, by the way, if you build anything on SHIB or anything with SHIB, it's a hoax, right? They don't want nothing to do with you. In fact, they call you out on it, saying it's a scam. First thing out of their mouth, it's a scam because it's not them that did it. Wonderful idea, but it wasn't them. So it's sorry. Don't put your money, don't put your trust in it. Don't invest any time whatsoever in it. But that's how they deal with stuff, right? That's how it doesn't hurt me, or it doesn't hurt you, it doesn't hurt anybody that's in SHIB, because we just basically we just look at them now and say, listen, our governments lie to us all the time, so why should you be any different? Right? They tell us it's raining when it's sunny out. When it's sunny, it's raining out. You're telling us that it's the opposite. We understand. We do. We understand where you're coming from. But don't expect us to buy into it anymore. That's the bottom line. And this is SHIB Worldwide raffle for every single person on the planet. What adds value, drives home the message that everyone wins in this raffle. Like, I mean, literally everybody wins. So to me, it's a no-brainer, right? It's absolutely, if everybody wins in it, why isn't everybody talking about it? Why isn't everybody wanting to take part in it? If it's going to continually reduce the circulating supply, bring in more people, drive in absolute market valuations that are going to be astronomical to everybody, so we can have these big, huge green candles going straight up. When you sell half the supply, the other half is owned by the other people. After 9 days, they sell it. 9 days where SHIB doesn't move. The only people buying it are the ones that own millions of it, right? Not billions, because the billions that people own are all stuck waiting for them to sell it back to you. In theory, that could happen, but in reality, not likely. Highly unlikely, because of the exchanges holding so much SHIB at that time. It would be almost impossible. That being said, it can be stalemated, absolutely, because the exchanges are sitting on so much of it, and they don't take part in the raffle. They love the raffle, but they don't take part in it, and they hold on to their SHIB. So we sell a certain amount of tickets, and we can't sell anymore because all the money's sitting on those exchanges. That's what I mean by we're deadlocked, right? So once the people are able to cash out, which usually takes around 6 to 7 days before, or maybe even longer, depending on the exchange that you're on, could take up to 9 days. And that's not business days, that's 9 days straight, right? Not 9 business days. Crypto works in what? Unless, of course, you win in Canada and you're on the NASDAQ exchange. Because it will be 9 business days, unfortunately. They don't work weekends. Okay, their cryptocurrency still goes on, but for cashing out and taking your money, they only work Monday to Friday, and only certain parts of the day. So if you want to take your money out, you got to do it on their hours, not yours. You can't even cash out. Get a load of this. You can't even put in fiat currency unless they're back in the office. So that's dangerous in crypto. In crypto space, that's dangerous. So just so that everybody has understand, and someone's from that's going to be out next week going to talk about it on my channel, saying, "Hey, did you say this?" And I'll be like, "Well, that was what it was before. Well, we've changed the ruling because now we work weekends and long weekends." And I'll be like, "I'm very, very sorry. That's the reason why I didn't invest any money through that exchange, because when I looked at the hours of operation, and if I want to get out, I can't. I have to wait for you guys to be in the office." I think that's a little insane, considering that cryptocurrency is 24/7. If you want out at 3 o'clock in the morning, at 2 o'clock in the morning, you see it in a tank, you have a right to get out of it, right? Like, everybody should have that right to get out of it. But if you're on days or anything, how do you survive? Because like the exchanges are based on formulas on a 7-day rotation, 7 days a week, right? Well, you can still sell it on Saturday, but you can't cash it out until Monday. And I don't know if that's true or not, right? When I looked at it, you couldn't do anything until Monday to Friday from 8 o'clock until 7 o'clock in the evening. Okay. There was no one in the office to look over your trade. So if you no one there to verify it, they don't allow it to go through. So I was like, well, okay. I don't know how you're able to stay in business, but it's a good concept. That's why I said we can't back any exchange. We can tell you who we're through, and then you make a decision, intelligent decision on your own. I can point you to Jason Cox. He's got Robinhood. Robinhood's fantastic for him. Cheap fees. And the reason why they're cheap is because everything that they buy and sell is directly on their exchange. They don't go to Ethereum. They boycott Ethereum. So everything, if you sell it, there's no sellers. They're the ones buying it. That's the truth of it. So and they have enough SHIB that they can do that with. I think it's 35 trillion SHIB that they own. And they're accumulating more. But you can't find it out anymore because someone shut down CoinCarp. I don't know who. Maybe someone has information that they like to share on that. That would be awesome. I think that would be phenomenal if they would share that information, because I would like to know how that happened. Now, we don't talk about charts. We don't talk about, why don't we talk about charts? Anyone? How come SHIB 50/50 raffle doesn't talk about charts? The Bollinger Bands, their ROIs, the trading, because we're undervalued. Where the value is here, price is here. Normally, it's the opposite. Normally, in a normal situation, it's the opposite. But it's not in this case. The value is up here, price is down here. See the difference, right? So at some time in the near future, we're going to see it change. It's not happening right now, unfortunately. Not enough people are paying attention to it. We're trying to get the message out to every single person on the planet. We're always constantly adding value. And we prove it every single time. Every single time there's a reduction in SHIB circulating supply. And we'll look at the reductions right now. I know everybody's anxious. We're at 67 minutes right now. Do a marathon here on a Friday night, because on Saturday I am out and about at Little Bow. So I will be posting live like this, I would think, unless I start selling tickets. If I start selling tickets, things change fairly quickly when you start selling stuff for everybody. Okay, where are the... Oh, man, don't tell me I closed it. The bubbles. CryptoBubbles.com. You can go look up that, too. Forum is up 9.3%. Everything else is in the red. Pepe is at 13.5. Dot's at 9.3 in the red. Render's at 10.7 in the red. TIA is at 13.6. Bonk is at 10.4 in the red. Wow, a lot of red, eh? Look at that. And we should be the opposite. We are completely decentralized. So if it's decentralized and we're working should be working with gold in tandem, shouldn't it be up? Okay, XRM, remember XRM yesterday? It's up 1.8% today. Core's at 5.3. We're not getting into the... We're avoiding it. Okay, hold on a second here. SHIB burn. There we go. She burns. She burns. $22,000% increase in burn rate in the last 24 hours. 11 hours ago, we burned 14 million. 19 hours ago, we burned 23 million. Okay, so we're up 22,662% from yesterday. Massive love shout out to everybody. That means we are adding value to every single SHIB holder out there in the world by 27 million SHIB given back to every single person that's in SHIB. Big golf clap. Big golf clap for everybody in SHIB. So that adds to SHIB liquidation. Just so everybody's aware, 56 billion Shibarium burned back in 2024. Okay, 3 months of burns added up to 56 billion. It's on the website, SHIB5050raffle.com. You can check it out. Right now we are at, for the maximum burns, 410 trillion, which was burned by who? Vladimir Buterin. 748 billion. Who was that burned by? Everybody in SHIB that took part in the burn process. And when did that happen? Ever since it was established, right? So after the 410 trillion, we added 748 billion, but the 56 billion was done by who? Right. By the ecosystem development team from Shibarium. They burned 56 billion. So you take 56 billion from 748, that gives you your rate. 694 billion SHIB reduced. We have not seen the value being reflected in that price action. That value is still sitting there in SHIB. The price is here, right? The price is here. The value is here. It's supposed to be the value is here. The price is here. And climbing, right? As more and more value is added, more the price is supposed to go parabolic. So how far undervalued are we? We should be sitting at roughly around the $400 billion market cap. We would be right under Bitcoin and right above, just above Ethereum. And then in that range between 400 billion to 800 billion and fluctuating between there. But we're nowhere near there. Not anywhere close. So when can we see an explosion? What is your prediction for the price? That's a good question. When are we going to start showing the value of SHIB coming to fruition? When are we going to start seeing that come to fruition? That's the question. When is people going to start realizing that SHIB is drastically undervalued? Especially when we're constantly adding to that value. So we're constant. People are willing to sell it for less and less and less and less. The value keeps going up and up and up. You understand what's going on? So the pressure cooker is building that pressure, and it's going to pop. When it pops, it's going to be fantastic and awesome to see. And I hope and pray that other organizations, other exchanges, start looking at it and saying, yes, we're going to start reducing it so that we take market share to the next level, because we want to own it and operate it so that we can maximize our position in it. And the only way that happens is if you hold majority of the golden goose, because you want all the golden eggs to announce that you're making enormous sums of money rather than sharing it with 300 other exchanges, little pieces of eggs. You don't want to be... That's the whole idea, right? That's why we said SHIB is going to go on fire, because everybody wants to make money. And I mean everybody wants to make money. And they want to make insane amount of money. They're not going to be happy making 30, 40,000 more than what they're making now, $50,000 more than they're making now, when SHIB was adding billions to Ethereum every single month. $10 billion they were making off of it. And they never capitalized on it either. And thank God they didn't, because where would SHIB be today? 2 zeros, 3 zeros, 99, somewhere around there, 2 zeros, up to the 1 cent mark and then back down, up to the 1 cent mark and back down, up to the 1 cent mark and back down. That's what I'm saying to you. That's exactly where it would be. And then it would breach that eventually. But will we be in the trillions of SHIB? No. Because they're constantly reducing the circulating supply. Because it's driving market share to them. So they're gaining the volume. They're gaining the money that's coming into it. Everybody else is missing out on it. That's what we said. It's going to be awesome when it happens. It's going to be phenomenal. And everybody should be dollar cost averaging in if you're not already. Or if you haven't already, think about it. Start using it like a raffle ticket. Start buying it like a raffle ticket. Don't go all in, but don't get left behind. It only costs you $15, $16 right now to get into SHIB. Perfect time to get into it. Absolutely. Like, listen, I just went over the spewel on it, why you should be in it. Because any moment of any day, we could pop like a mother on fire, chasing after her young from a bear attacking it, right? You know how mothers are, right? So something sets, they go like Jack the Bear. SHIB's going to be the same way. It's going to go like Jack the Bear, and it's going to fly. And I hope people are paying attention to when it does, because it's going to be phenomenal. And you're going to be like on cloud 9, because you'll see this like 10x, and you'll be like, "Ooh, how far can it go? Well, I might want to think about cashing out." And then you see the burns happening after you cash out, of course. And then you're like, "Well, it took 3 months for the last one. Maybe I have this much." That's the truth of it. Once the burns happen, we usually get a 20 to 30% sell off when a massive burn happens. So you're probably right. We'll probably get a 30% pullback. And that's no word of a lie. That's exactly the whole concept of it. Unless more people start realizing what's going on and the value that is created in it. That's the trick. That's the one trick. But history has proven to us otherwise. Okay? It didn't go up. It went down. And even Lucy came out, made a silly statement saying, "Look, the burns mean nothing." And she's part of the ecosystem development team. And she said that. And then right after she said that, what happens? Another burn happens. They do another burn and nothing happens. She makes the same statement. This time she's eating her words, because the time that she made the statement was in February, middle of February. See, the burns didn't do anything for the SHIB community. March 3rd happens. We have a massive run in SHIB. It goes from 8-8, 5 zeros 8-8 to 12. 4 zeros 1-2. 2 days that happened. The third day we hit 15-16. We hit 19-20. We went all the way back down to 12-88. Then it shot up the same day. It went down, shot up. 17.44 closed at. Next 24 hours. 24. From 17.24. Hello. 3 days later, 33. How much volume? $6 to $7 billion in volume per day. Hello. Did Shibarium take advantage of it? No. They didn't burn a single SHIB. But SHIB was still being burnt. It's just not on the same scale that everybody wanted. They were expecting billions of SHIB to be burned. It never happened. So what happens? All of a sudden, the 14th, 15th happened. It maximizes out. It hits 4 zeros 5-5. And then the rollover comes. And it goes right back down to, I believe it was 36, 37. And it fluctuated in there for a few days. But it slowly kept going down. So it went to 28, back up to 36, back down to 24, back up to 36. And did that cedar solder. But it's still $6 to $7 billion in transactions every single day. 43 days of this. 43 days. Who made the money? BlackRock? Robinhood? Binance made the most because they hold most of it. Did they burn any SHIB? Nope. Crypto.com, did they burn any SHIB? Nope. And they could have burned, if they knew what they knew now, they could have burned the market share away from Robinhood, BlackRock, and Binance, took possession of number one spot so that they would benefit the most from it. Nope. None of them did. OKX didn't do it. Gate.io didn't do it. And Shibarium was lost. They didn't even know what to do at that point. But SHIB took off. And now SHIB is back down to 15. Like, are you nuts? Anyway, I'm Will, your host. Thank you so much. Have a great and wonderful night. I think it's funny when you see those aspects of it and you see, well, you guys love selling stuff for nothing. Like, literally, you know it's worth a lot more, but you're willing to take it on the chin. You're awesome. Someone else is stealing it from you, and you're willing to take it on the chin. I think that's awesome. You got me right here. And it hurts, and I wish everybody could understand that it's not, but I understand that you're looking at everything else. Everything else can explode faster, better. But when you have something of value and you're selling it for less value, that makes 0 sense to majority of the people. But it is what it is, and that's the truth of it. And I'm Will, your host. Thank you so much for coming, everybody. I've been here around for 81 minutes. I'm going to let you all go. Thank you so much for coming in and having a great and wonderful time. God bless each and every one of you. Jesus loves you. Remember that Jesus died for you on the cross and took away everything with him on that cross. So the Lamb of God sacrificed his life for yours. So don't waste it. Make sure you come to Jesus Christ and understand what that means. That love is unprofound love for you. God bless you. We got the bull in behind us, representing the bull market. SHIB, constant value, driving up the market price of SHIB, which in turn should drive up the rest of the cryptocurrency in the right direction. Because every cryptocurrency should own at least 500 billion SHIB, at least. And there's 18,000 of them, 813, and it's constantly growing at around 3,000 per day, which is insane. But how many of them invested through SHIB? When you have something that's constantly adding to its value, everything that comes to fruition comes to those who wait, especially if you know it's going to go up in price. It's the inevitable part. I'm Will, your host. Thank you so much. Have a great and wonderful day, everyone. God bless you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night from wherever you are in the world. Take good care. Jesus loves you.